Hi everyone, okay, so I'm back this time with another set of collecting tips. The theme for this episode is going to be eBay. Now, regardless of what you may see online with loads of people picking up really good deals from places like flea markets, car boot sales, charity shops, the majority of collectors will buy a lot of their games from eBay. So that's why I wanted to do a video specifically focusing on eBay and how I use it to my advantage in order to get really good deals on games. If you have got any tips that I don't cover, maybe everyone's got their own, select little ideas or ways to get the best deal, then please put a comment below, share them so that other people who are going to be watching this video to find some good ways to collect games on eBay, they'll be able to use those and it will help everybody else out. So my first tip for buying games on eBay is to check eBay as often as possible. What you'll find is a lot of big avid collectors such as myself, you will be checking it not only daily, you will be checking it sometimes multiple times per day. What you want to be looking out for is obviously great deals coming on. Now the tip that I always use for this one is with eBay you can choose the order which games are shown. What a really good thing is to do is to search for the game or the console that you're looking for and then use the buy it now, because the majority of people do use the buy it now button. And then what you want to do is you want to change the search order so that shows you the newly listed games first. What you'll find here then is that you have the buy it now price, you can buy it straight away, and it's going to be people that have just listed them. A lot of the times you'll get great deals doing this because sometimes people don't realise how much their game that they're selling is worth, so they'll list a game for a lot less than it should be. And if you're actually checking at the time, then you'll be able to buy it. My second tip is to look for spelling mistakes in games. Especially if a game's got a really unusual title, just try it on the off chance, typing in a few different combinations or different letters or spotting to keep an eye out exactly for where people have made spelling mistakes. What this does is it makes it so that when people are searching specifically for the game title, they're not going to find it. My third tip is to use what I call sniper tactics. If you're going in for an auction, what you want to do is don't bid early, because then it lets people know that there's interest in the game, and if lots of people bid early, then it alerts people to the fact that there's a hot property or a game that might potentially go for a good price. I'm one of those annoying people, like a lot of you, that will wait literally until normally 5 seconds before the auction finishes, whack in a really high bid, and then just click bid, and then generally only goes up by a few pounds, and depending on the time of the day, you'll probably snipe most people. One of the things to also remember is there's actually tools that you can download, whether you're on PC or on Mac, that will do this automatically for you. So if you're going to be away from your computer, or if you haven't got a smartphone, you can actually set this up so it will automatically bid with only a few seconds left to an amount that you'd be happy with. My fourth tip is if you find that you're buying generally from the same seller a lot of the time, because there are a lot of big sellers on eBay that will just stock video games. If you find yourself buying from the same buyers, from the same sellers even, quite often, what's a really good idea to do is firstly to message them, to maybe give them a list of games that you're wanting, so that quite a lot of the time they'll actually be able to get hold of those for you. Secondly, find out if they actually have their own retro game shops, because if they do, a lot of the time they'll have separate websites, in which case the prices on there could sometimes be a lot cheaper than they're advertising on eBay. The other tip with doing this as well is if you build up a good relationship with them, what you'll often find is that because you're happy with them, you bought from the past, you trust them, you know that they're going to deliver it to you, what you can actually do is negotiate to buy outside of eBay. The benefits for you are you will pay a lower price for doing this, and the benefits for them are the fact they can get rid of some of the fees associated with selling on eBay and just sell to you directly without PayPal charges, without eBay charges. So they'll be happy, you'll be happy, and you get games at a cheaper price. My fifth tip is to be prepared to do some late night auction listings. If you're looking for auctions, what I always try to do is see if there's any which are ending at unsociable hours. So what you may find is that every now and again a game will pop up that you're looking for that is going to be having the auction finish maybe sort of 2-3 o'clock in the morning, which is why I've got bags under my eyes, because I was looking at one last night. And what you'll find is because most people are going to be in bed because they've got work in the morning, no one's going to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to bid on the game, except for hardcore people such as myself. So this is a really good tactic, because generally games that finish in the early hours of the morning, they're not going to attract the high bids, and you will get them generally at a cheaper price. My sixth tip is to remember that buying internationally is sometimes cheaper than buying from your own country. This not only applies to buying games which are maybe for a different region, but a lot of the time that, say for example here in the PAL region, if you go on eBay and try to buy a game which is a North American cartridge, for example, the price will be a lot cheaper to buy it here than it would be to buy the same cart in America. As an example, I managed to get hold of some really good games from different countries in Europe where the prices were a lot lower than I would have paid here in the UK to buy the exact same game, and it will work on the system no problem because it's PAL region. So whenever you're checking eBay, always try to use the international search, so it will broaden it up and you can always select which region you're wanting to buy for as well. And my seventh and final tip is to always check the seller's feedback, especially if you're going to be buying something which is either rare or uncommon. There's a lot of fraud going on at the moment, especially with cartridges. I'm not going to bore you with all the details. There's lots of other people that have done videos about these, whether it's swapping boards inside the cartridges or making fake special controllers which were limited edition, even down to like custom spray paints in consoles now to make one of the more rare, more expensive ones. Generally you can avoid this by checking the feedback thoroughly, especially if you're buying from someone for the first time. Then go on, have a look at their feedback. It may sound like common sense, but I think now a lot of people are in so much of a rush to try and get the good deal on the game that they don't do as much research about the person that they're buying it from in order to check whether they are going to be legit. So they're my tips for buying retro video games on eBay. If you've got any that I have missed, then put it in the comments below and I will be back soon for another video. Thanks for watching.